Thanks very much. I don't rap. I'll start there. But what we did do is we did ride across Canada, so I can attest to everything that he said about the proper attire. We rode across Canada actually in 2007 in 8 days with 5 people to raise money for juvenile diabetes. And we raised $1 million, so that was great. And it ties in with what we're going to talk about today, which is we have a challenge. And with the challenge comes an opportunity. So the challenge is inactivity. And this is quite a serious challenge. I'm sure everyone's heard about it. And we decided to step up and do something about it. So the challenge has gotten to the point where it's beyond rhetoric. It's now statistically relevant in that we have teenagers and young people that are experiencing health issues at too early of an age. We don't want that. So we decided to do something about that challenge with challenges and opportunity, as Jeremy pointed out. And with that opportunity came the 60-Minute Kids Club. So what we did is we took a couple seconds and we put together a vision and a mission, and we started down the path of changing youth, the way we deliver physical education, the way we look at entrenching healthy habits, and we started a charity. And if we're talking about FEAT and we're talking about these things, basically we all know that motion equals emotion. And what we mean by that is, I'm sure in Squamish, it's probably second nature. And if you're going to live in Squamish, you're going to be active, you're going to be connected to your community, and you're going to be a part of this whole thing. So for you, a lot of the talking that I'm doing might not seem relevant, but it's always great to have a reminder. When we talk about the things that we're doing, what we know is there are a lot of people moving in the fast track. So we see examples like this of kids and parents and people just trying to get things done really quickly, get through the day, and taking shortcuts. It's called the comfort zone. Here's your comfort zone. Here's where the magic happens. Once again, here's our comfort zones. Here's where the magic happens. And we're programmed to stay inside our comfort zones. We also see good people doing well and people doing good examples of emulating motion and healthy lifestyles into their life. And healthy lifestyles are way more important than just physical activity because they transcend into the mind, the body, and the spirit. And when we talk about healthy lifestyles, we're not talking about rep sports or high-level sports. We're talking about getting moving. We're talking about getting out of bed each day, putting one foot in front of the other one, and making action. And then connecting that action to the experience and successes that we're achieving everywhere else in our lives. So when we start out, we got to start out with fundamentals. And when we go around to schools around our country right now, we talk about the biggest fundamental, which is eating breakfast. And although that might seem trivial to some, there's quite a high percentage of kids in Canada that do not get a good breakfast. Staggering when we found it out, but it's true. So when we're starting everything, you got to start with the fundamentals. The second one, obviously, is to get 60 minutes of activity per day. We called ourselves a 60-Minute Kids Club. And the reason for that is because we're big advocates of getting that full 60 minutes. And as we saw from the stats, we're not getting that. Again, the 60 minutes is not just organized sports. And if you think that it's at the hockey arena, well, actually calculate how much time you're actually doing activity when you're on the ice. It's actually pretty small incrementally. We want to drink more water. These are the fundamentals, and we're rolling through them because these are things that if they're not reminders for you, they should be reminders for you. They should be reminders for us all as you pick up your water bottle and drink it. Well done, good girl. We want to eat a wide variety of fruits and vegetables because, again, we want to set ourselves up for success. Garbage in, garbage out. If we're not fueling ourselves properly and we're relying on things like processed foods and fast foods and junk, which we're going to see in a second, then we're not going to get the expectation. And the analogy we use when we go around and speak to students is it's like fueling your car. If you put sugar in your gas tank, what's going to happen to your car? It's not going to run very well. So we want to put high-grade, high-quality fuels in our gas tanks, and we want to be able to run well. We want to avoid this processed food. We want to avoid the processed sugars, and I'm glad some parents are here to see this because they really are the gatekeepers of this kind of information. And we want to get into healthy snack ideas because obviously, getting back to the high-grade fuel, this is high-grade stuff. And although it might not seem fun, there are ways that you can make it fun. So that's our task. We go around the country and basically tell everybody that the hard way is actually the right way. We also want to talk about getting sleep because obviously our bodies are like batteries, particularly for the young people. We go hard all day. What we want to do at the end of the day is we want to get a good sleep. We want to avoid watching screen time before we go to bed. We want to let our brains slow down. So getting a good quality sleep is part of the equation. And when we're looking at this and we're rolling through the slides, what we want to share is that being healthy and active isn't just one thing. It's a culmination of many things. Screen time, technology. Technology has had a very positive impact and a very destructive impact on us if we don't moderate it and use it well. So we need to reduce screen time. And that's what the 60-Minute Kids Club is trying to do. The 60-Minute Kids Club is a movement for movement. We started off with one school in BC, and now we are in 10 out of 10 provinces, and we've joined forces with organizations like TELUS, with Canadian Tire, with the Heart and Stroke Foundation, with Athletics Canada. If you haven't heard about what we're doing, you're going to hear about what we're doing, because what we're doing is a movement for movement. We show up at fun runs, and this is an example in Toronto of us showing up at a fun run and activating people. We have ambassadors from across the country, and those ambassadors also are advocates. They're health advocates. They're people just like you and I, and they are working, they're volunteering their time so that we can show kids and share the beauty of being active. We've engaged sports teams. Sports teams from across the country are participating. We're talking with Nike USA. They like what we're doing, so we will go down and we will work with them to introduce the same thing in America and across all of their outlets. And the last thing I want to wrap up with is success. This is obviously a conversation about success. You're going to hear from a lot of successful people, like Jeremy, like the rest of the speakers today. Success doesn't come easy. It comes when you work for it. And there's no better victory than one that has come at the heels of challenge and adversity. And again, I started off the conversation talking about challenge. Our challenge is to reshape the way we think about physical activity and healthy lifestyles. And that's what we're going to do. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Matt. I'll definitely think about you next time I go to eat a Twinkie bar. When did you know or think that this getting youth active was what you wanted to do in life?
I think from an very early experiencing the benefits, both on confidence and competence of using the physical sphere to affect the other spheres in your life, intellectual, social, spiritual, etc., really brings people together. And then seeing the opportunity that there was to lend our strengths that we had in our business to something that was bigger than us, that's really what tipped the scales for me.
Great. God, thanks.
Thanks very much.
Yeah.